well, here we are again. I'm gonna be honest with you guys right now. I'm gonna be real honest. I have a sunburn. I have a pretty bad sunburn on my back. It's itchy, okay? It's really itchy. I got an early flight tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on in my world right now. But what I will say is not enough is going on for me to stop this thing. Today we're browsing the subreddit OffMyChest. Now, this is a place very famously where people come to say things that they wouldn't necessarily say at a party. You know what I'm saying? These are little confessions, things they may or may not feel guilty about, things that weigh heavily on the spirit. My husband is having a baby with another woman in a couple of weeks. The old classic husband, baby, other woman. You know, I've never experienced this. We met when we were 11 years old. We grew up together. He was my first love, my first everything. Started dating at 15. We have 2 beautiful daughters. We will have been married 17 years this year. That is a long time if the divorce isn't final by September. Okay. 17 years of marriage. Some of you watching this right now aren't even 17 years old. Our marriage wasn't perfect. We had our struggles, but this was not something I ever expected. 2.5 weeks ago, I received a text message from somebody that he worked with informing me that he had been having an affair with a coworker and that she was pregnant and due in June. I confronted him. After initially denying, he finally admitted the truth. It's his baby. He finally admitted the truth. I wonder what it was that made him admit the truth. I wonder if she was like, okay, then get a blood test. Because if I were him, I mean, I would tell the truth because I'm an upstanding citizen. But I could imagine somebody who's less of an upstanding citizen being like, no, that's not my kid, and just deny until you die. It is 11:11 p.m. Make a wish, fam. I wish the sunburn were gone. I'm very happy I went to the beach. I love the beach. I actually don't love the beach. I really dislike the beach, actually. It's been a blur. I've kicked him out, and I'm looking into my options for a lawyer and programs available to me. He is the breadwinner by far. Oh, I see, okay. I don't know how I'm going to make it through this, but I can't stay in a relationship with somebody who has disrespected me in such a way. Yeah, I think it's safe to say a husband whom you've been married to for 17 years, having a baby with a coworker. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that's somewhat disrespectful. Huh? My daughters are crushed. You have kids? Oh, God. I've gotten them both into therapy. They don't want any contact with him at this time, nor do they have any interest in meeting their half-brother who will be born shortly. At least it's a boy. I don't know. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know. Oh, surprise microphone. I'll put you back. I'm exhausted emotionally and physically. I can't eat or sleep. I'm trying the best I can for my girls, but my goodness, why is this happening? I don't know what it is, because I'm not a relationship expert. My assumption is that people get loose in their values over time. Or clearly he sucks and he's stupid. Why is this happening? And why couldn't he have at least told me himself? He's known for months. We've been through major holidays, birthdays. It hurts. It makes me sick. I feel like I never even knew him. Yeah, we've known each other for 25 years. 25 years. A 25-year-long relationship. Now, I don't mean relationship like, relationship. I mean knowing somebody for 25 years. That feeling of betrayal has to be insane. I mean, this is a majority of my lifetime, 25 years. I'm sorry for you. I understand this as well. My husband is having an affair with a 27-year-old escort, and she is pregnant. My girls are devastated too. You sound so strong, though. Great job kicking him out. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. My husband's affair is also quite young. Sending you big hugs. All right, we've got these older dudes having an affair with much younger women. Make sure you file for divorce and child support ASAP. Even if you file the paperwork yourself, you can look up how to file online and get a lawyer later. Please speak with a lawyer, even a free consultation, because in many places, if she files for child support before you do, you will likely get less money, she being the other woman. A big part of his money will go to her child, and you will get the scraps. Please speak with a lawyer about this to confirm if this applies in your area. There are free legal clinics in many areas, often connected to a local university. Best of luck. I don't understand the law involved in marriage and divorce. That level of like maniacal world burning and just a crazy, there's so much hate in divorce and law and alimony and child support and all that stuff. It's scary. I'm gonna move on. This is crazy. My mom says that my tattoos make me look easy and a slut. Okay, this one I can work with. For context, I just broke up from a 3-year relationship. My mom, 57 female, told me, 21 female, and now I'm on the market again. It's gonna be more difficult for me to get a guy to respect me and take me seriously because I have plenty of tattoos. I have 15, not in really obvious areas. Apart from my upper arm and stomach. She proceeded to explain that people will find me easy, and they'll believe that I'm into one-night stands and not the relationship type, which is far from true. She said that I should cover my tats with clothes, for example, or else it's going to be difficult for me to find the one. She also calls me the S word. All right. Well, I think I'm going to stop there for a brief second. Let's just pause this train for a moment, eh? Let's still step off onto wherever the trains park. I don't think any mother should be calling their daughter the S word, frankly. The worst that I've heard is like, oh, you being a little hoochie mama? And it's usually said with a little tee. My stepmom's Puerto Rican. That's how she talks to her daughter. So, but then again, I'm from Florida. We're very sex positive over there. First of all, if your kid just gets out of a 3-year relationship and your first instinct is to give them advice on something that has already been permanently altered, you're going to tell your kid who has already tattooed their skin, you're going to be like, now that you're single, let's talk about this. Excuse me? I don't have a crazy fashion style either. My tattoos are a mix of neo-tribal and old-school traditional. Okay, I don't know what that is. This really hurt me because firstly, I'm processing a tough and confusing breakup from my first actual serious relationship, and hear that from my own mother made me feel, apart from depressed, more unwanted and dirty. You poor thing. Move. It sounds like you're in the UK or New Zealand or something, or wherever they say mum, but move to LA. You'll be fine. You will be just fine. I promise. I promise you. Or anywhere in the US, really. I don't know. Maybe there's a different tattoo culture in the UK than there is in the United States. Here in the States, nobody cares. Nobody's going to care that you have tattoos. My father is absent from my life, but I feel like he'd say the same things. Why? Why give him that? Why give a ghost, for lack of a better term, negative things to say? They're already a ghost. I'm not saying he's passed. We don't know the situation. I feel so bad for you, Electronic Tour 9509. The fact that she gets to say this while I've been accepted to med school with the scholarship while co-owning an online shop and doing yoga and ballet pre-professionally. Okay, wait, hold on. Pick a lane a little bit, because you're going to med school with a scholarship. That's amazing. Co-owning an online shop. Co-owning is interesting. I want to know what that's about. And doing yoga. So you're going from medical school now to co-owning an online shop. What does that mean? What does that look like? And then you're going from there to like doing yoga. Doing yoga is just like a thing you do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, unless you're teaching it, which is fine. But like you're just doing yoga and ballet pre-professionally. I'm a little concerned about where your priorities are here. Just being accepted to med school on a scholarship is a huge win, all right? What is pre-professionally? Isn't anything you do without getting paid for it pre-professional? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not. I think you're flustered. I think you're flustered and you've lost sight. You took your eye off the ball here for a second. Never heard a bravo in my life. As of recently, I'm lacking self-confidence, and this comment made me feel even worse because it's my own mother and she must know better, right? Please give me your unsolicited opinion. Well, the irony here is that you are soliciting the opinion. I personally would never correlate a person's tattoos with their sexual preferences, etc. What do you think? No, that portion of it where she's saying, you're easy or a floozy or whatever, like weird language that a 57-year-old mom would say wherever you live. I don't know what the hell that is. I mean that's just rough and silly and useless mouth flaps towards you. You know what I'm saying? It's not helpful. It's not beneficial. It's a different time. It's 2024. You're 21, for God's sake. You just got out of a relationship. Do whatever you want to do, frankly. Do whatever you want to do with your time and your body. To be fair, everybody watching this right now, like, look, I'm not a crazy hedonist, okay? I'm not saying, like, put yourself in dangerous, precarious situations. I'm just saying you can't live your life based on what other people are setting out for you, because you have been accepted to med school with a scholarship. You have your path. Your path is a good one. I'm sorry this is happening. I'm hopeful that in time your mother realizes how painful this advice was. And if she doesn't realize that, I hope that you are able to distance yourself enough from this moment and see it as a woman approaching 60 who doesn't have a good sense of the dating scene right now, trying her very best to help her daughter with tough love. If you can distance yourself from that and see it from a bird's eye view and be like, that's what's happening. Doesn't make it sting any less, but if you see it from that lens, maybe it'll make it less personal. Maybe. This says a lot more about her morals than yours. She sounds awful. Unless you have a tattoo of an arrow pointing at your genitals that says open for business, your tattoos have nothing to do with indicating sexual availability. That's right. I don't correlate tattoos to promiscuity. Everyone has likes and dislikes, and that's okay. I personally do not like tattoos, and they're a turnoff for other reasons, not sex. He's allergic to ink. But I am one person, and there are many who will like your tattoos or not mind. That's very true. And yeah, it is a preference thing. I mean, it's a generational thing. Yes. Old people think tattoos are deviant and rebellious because they grew up in button-down conservative homes. I will say, my mom never had tattoos for a majority of my life. And then one day I saw that she got a tattoo. She got a tattoo right here on her arm. And it threw me. It threw me off because I've never seen her like that. I've never seen her arm like that. And as humans, if you're used to seeing a patch of skin that is clean and clear, and then suddenly you see the very same patch of skin on a loved one, and it's different, it's alarming, right? It's like, oh no, you were wounded. Or like, oh, something's changed. I think evolutionarily, we're like, oh shit, is that a rash? But when it's a loved one, and you have that context of what they used to look like, it just takes a second, and then you shift into it, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what it is. I see the art that it is. I see what it represents. And my mom's tattoo, it's a beautiful tattoo. It means something to her, and therefore it means something to me. Does she know what these tattoos mean to you? I'm sure you've had that conversation before. I'm just hopeful she opens her mind, to be honest with you. Here we go. I catfished a guy online. Not my proudest moment, but this happened years back. I was 25 years old and was talking to this guy named Evan, not real name, on a hookup app called Pure. I've never heard of this before. What is Pure about? I know this app is trashy, but I just wanted to hook up and have fun. You don't show your faces, but then you can send each other photos of yourself when talking. I matched with Evan and we had a great conversation until he asked to show my face. I mean, we had chemistry and did some sexting. He saw my face and immediately unmatched me. Yo, that's rough, homie. That is rough. I was livid. I was determined to find out his name and who he really is, going against the app, I see. I changed my ad on the app and matched with him again. This time round, I pretended to be someone else and refused to show a photo. I eventually found out his name, and turns out he has a wife and a baby on the way. What an ass. I ended up typing, "Hi, Evan," to freak him out. Yeah, you got him. You definitely got him. Too long didn't read. I was a petty woman and wanted revenge on a dating app. Let's see. What do people think? Was this person in the right to do that? To enact a little bit of revenge on an app that is purely designed to be shallow? Probably. Yeah, I think so. Should this guy be on there with a wife and baby on the way? No! Of course not! Y'all are weird, man. Everybody here take a cold bath. Everybody here do the ice bucket challenge on yourself in the shower. This is a mess. I don't know why, but this is funny and good for you that you got your revenge. Also, most of these apps are swamped with married guys. I don't know why. How the are you going to be married and be on these apps? Speaking of, actually, I saw that Ashley Madison documentary. Remember Ashley Madison, that website that's like Life is Short, Have an Affair? First of all, that's crazy. Second of all, Ashley Madison is still a company, and they have 70 million members of people who are just on there to cheat. They're just there to cheat. That's crazy. How? How are you going to be on an app while you're married? Do you assume there's no internet? Do you assume that you don't have friends on these apps who know your personal life? Y'all need to stop thinking with your genitals. I miss Europe. Ooh, la la. I'm Swedish and immigrated to the U.S. almost exactly 10 years ago. Missouri, specifically. Well, of course you miss Europe. You went to Missouri. Of course you miss Europe. You went to Missouri. People in Missouri want to leave. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to finish reading it. The mistake is right there. I don't want to know what the comments say. I want to. All right, let me see the comments. Somebody's got to say something about Missouri, right? Yeah, you picked the crappiest state to move to. Get out of here, bro. Yeah, no, that's your mistake. I don't care who you are. I accidentally stole $300 worth of groceries. What'd you take? 2 cartons of eggs? Am I right? Topical humor. Eggs are expensive. I had just gotten off of a long shift at work and needed to do the monthly big grocery shop with my husband, who also just got off of work. I don't know why that sentence tickles me, man. It does, though. Can you explain it to me? I can't explain it. I had just gotten off a long shift at work and needed to do the big grocery stop with my husband, who also just got off work. I feel like this is like a Hannibal Buress type of sentence. We got to the big chain. I'm gonna read this whole thing like Hannibal Buress. Hold on. We just got to the big chain grocery store, filled the cart with what we needed about 45 minutes time. Just got to self-checkout because they only had 2 cashiers working, scanned all the items as my husband was bagging them. Dug for my car keys that I put in my purse. We smiled at the self-checkout employees and said goodbye as we tiredly walked out to our car. This is really funny to me. About 5 hours later, we finally hopped into bed and tried to fall asleep. I always struggle with falling asleep because my brain has a hard time shutting off, but my husband usually hits the pillow and is out cold. So I'm lying there as random sleepy thoughts and dream-like images flash through my mind. Here's what's interesting. That's called hypnagogic imagery. Hypnagogic imagery. All of a sudden, I jolt up in bed and shake my husband awake. Good. If anyone's seen the movie Home Alone and the mother is thinking that she forgot something and she's going through her list trying to figure it out, and then she finally screams, "Kevin!" Well, my husband woke up to me screaming, "I forgot to pay for the fucking groceries." We ended up taking pictures of the barcodes of all the items we bought and the amount of each item we freaking stole so I could run back to the store with my pictures. Thankfully, the lady at the service desk was very understanding as I frantically apologized for showing up at 10:30 p.m. at night with pictures of all these stolen items on my phone and only my word to go off of that I didn't leave anything out. I think my red face, shaking hands, and teary eyes clued her in that I was genuine and felt terrible. So now we always make sure we grab a coffee bag before a big shop and make sure we actually have a receipt in hand before leaving. For some reason, I hallucinated coffee bag here for a second. I thought there briefly, for a moment, just now, you saw me briefly consider the fact that maybe some people drink coffees straight from a bag. I bet the woman who was very understanding. She would have been like, you could have just gotten away with it. But here's the thing. Big chain grocery store. I heard a rumor that if you're stealing little things from Target, which is way harder to do nowadays because you have to ring a friggin' button to have them come up and take your stuff. I heard somewhere that if you buy stuff from Target and you steal a little thing here and there, they have so much surveillance on you that they're just waiting to tally up a certain amount. I think it's like over $1,000 or something. But once they realize you've stolen over $1,000 worth of merchandise, they're going to hit you with like a misdemeanor charge or some like pretty elevated charge. So just because you're getting away with it now does not mean you're getting away with it. They're just waiting to really get your ass. You know what I'm saying? I think the only time I've ever stolen something was accidentally, and it was at an airport. Okay, I was at an airport and I paid for like a bagel and a water, but I never paid for the water. I just paid for the bagel and I grabbed the water and I assumed that she saw that I had the water in my hand and I just kind of assumed it was paid for. But then I'm sitting down, I'm eating the bagel, I look at the receipt, the water's not on it. I look at the water, I look at this, big old area with a bunch of waters, and I'm like, I'm not going back in line to spend $4 on a bottle of water. One of my old science teachers told us how he did the same thing. He said he just didn't go back to that shop again. That's the thing, right? If you want to have your familiar places. You want to feel safe and comfy. When I was a kid, my mom would frequent the local neighborhood Walmart, and one day, after yet another terrible day of being a bus driver, she zombie walked into the store to get groceries with us brats bickering and fighting behind her. She got all the groceries and just zombie walked to the car, skipped past the checkout. All of a sudden, a cashier came running out and saying we didn't pay for groceries. My mom was so embarrassed. It was terrible. The lady said she sees my mom in there all the time and that to not beat herself up over it. People are tired, man. So true. Yeah, being tired is a hell of a thing. Mistakes happen and you say, hey, you didn't pay for XYZ, and oftentimes they'll apologize and pay for them. Shit happens. Life is hard. Bet it's 12:15 a.m. right now, and I have to get up for a flight in 6 hours. I'm tired too. But does anybody care? No! My boyfriend is actually hot. Imagine that. Imagine dating somebody and they feel the need to go on Reddit and be like, bag me a hottie. That's exciting. I've never had a boyfriend other people find attractive before. I'm the friend who's known for having an interesting taste in men. So imagine my shock when every single person I've shown a picture of my current boyfriend to has said, wow, he's cute. guys and girls alike. He also told me that he's had girls come up to him in the past to ask him out, myself included. I just got lucky, LOL. Guys, it feels so good because that's my man. He genuinely is the most beautiful man I've met inside and out. But yeah, just want to get this off my chest because it sounds like bragging if I say it to people I know, LOL. It's a very, that is a very, that's great. That feels good to be in a relationship with somebody that you're proud of and you're proud of showing off and other people will see it too. My only tip for you, if you're new to this world, I've been very fortunate to where, my girlfriend is beautiful and get ready for the demons. The demons in your mind. Get ready for the demons in your mind. Because if you think that he's really hot, other people are also going to probably think he's really hot. And of course, women are coming up and saying hi to him. But just, make sure, don't let any of the jealous thoughts rule over you. It's not useful. It's not interesting to be jealous. It's not fun or funny or cool or, trendy, or don't exhibit any jealous behavior and you could have a very healthy relationship, The way you can support this hot man is to just stay true to yourself, stay confident. He picked you for a reason. Good for you. Have fun. That's all I gotta say. God, I love this because me too. My boyfriend is always doubting himself or saying he should change parts of himself, but I still drool over him like it's the first time I met him. I swear to God, he was carved by the gods. There's nothing I don't love on/about that man. All I can say is my man, my man, my man. I'll die behind him. I love that. Oh, I love that. I love. You wouldn't know this by looking at me, but I'm a lover boy. A lover man, a lover gentleman. People who support each other sincerely. People who not just hype each other up, but like sincerely are like, this is my person. That is so cool to me that human beings do that. All right, let's do this one. I helped an old lady struggling to carry her groceries, and well, nobody will probably answer this. Ha ha! Joke is on you, okie dork. Nobody will probably answer this, but I feel I need to let it out somewhere because I am tired of this, and whoever takes this time to read, thank you. I, 24 female, went to the grocery store to buy some food, and before I could enter, I saw an old lady struggling with her heavy grocery bag and cane. So I approached her and asked if she needed help. She smiled and agreed. Well, that's very nice. Good for you, okie dork. So I did. I grabbed her stuff, gave her my arm to walk slowly back to her place. She asked me something I didn't understand because I don't speak well her native language yet, not English, since I am a foreigner student. She changed her attitude completely. She stopped smiling and making polite talk. I tried to tell her a bit about myself and my country, and she just said with an uncomfortable expression, there are a lot of my people immigrating around here lately. Okay, so it's not an English-speaking country. You are an English-speaking person. Let's say you're American. Maybe you're in Japan or Korea. I know that in Korea, and I know this because I almost lived in South Korea, that they don't get a lot of foreigners out there. And the word foreigner is a really big word in South Korea. So to give you an example of what I know, when I was fresh out of college, I got offered this job to be like a musical theater Dora the Explorer type guy for a place called English Village in the northern part of South Korea. Luckily, I got signed in LA, never had to do that, but I started learning Hangul and I started really looking into Korean culture. And this job was to put on shows in this fake colonial Virginia American town housed in South Korea, where all the cute little Korean kids would come up and they would see us Americans going around and speaking English and be like, what color is the backpack? And that was like a theme park to them. It was amazing. It was a great way for them to, be immersed in an English-speaking town. So there are some places where foreigners like us, Americans, are unusual. This lady is frustrated and she is not excited about where you're from. And she says there's a lot of your people immigrating around here lately. She was happy to accept your help when she thought you might have been one of us, one of them. I just stayed silent for the next 20-minute walk. Once we arrived, she just said to leave my bags on the door and leave, not even a thank you or even a smile like at the beginning. Wait, so you walked with her? You carried her groceries for 20 minutes? That's like a mile, right? Honestly, it bummed me out since every interaction with any native from this country is almost the same. Once they realize I cannot maintain a fluid conversation in their language yet, how am I supposed to practice if they don't give me the chance? I think it's France. I have to find out. Right now. This is not allowed. Paris! It's France! It's France! Do you see that? I said France! Boy, you ever say the word croissant to anybody remotely associated with France? Somebody who's had a French fry recently will correct you on the way you pronounce croissant. They will try their damnedest to make you feel silly for wearing a striped black and white shirt. They will be like, do you even pantomime? I'm not gonna lie, I was in France last year. I had a good time. I had a pretty good time. And actually, also, a couple of people from France stopped me and when I was at a restaurant and knew who I was. So if you're watching from France, what up? It is frustrating and it is so hard to find someone genuine and nice here. So today I went back to the store and guess who was there? The old lady struggling again. Whoop! Uh-oh. You don't have to let her struggle this time. I looked at her and she literally walked the other way around. Like, lady, what the f? I don't know. I'm tired of trying to be nice and being treated like I don't exist. Don't go out of your way. Don't go out of your way. You know what? You are not going to convince people to change their ways. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna convince them to change their belief system. Do your best to take that Pimsleur course, learn your Francois, okay? Learn how to say croissant. Okay. Perhaps she's just a bitter old asshole. Maybe. Or maybe she's French. This is a reflection of her, not you. She's struggling and doesn't have room in her heart. What is she, the Grinch? She's miserable and scared. Okay. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that that's the case. Sometimes old people just be grumpy. All right. It doesn't mean you miserable and scared. She might have a sexy man back home she's trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? Who's sleeping right now because she just rode that You know what I'm saying? She's about to get on with that. You cannot assume that she's miserable and scared and struggling, doesn't have room in her heart. You know, sometimes old people just be grumpy, man. That's okay. You tired. That's all you can do. Don't take it personal. I think this person meant to say, you tried, but they're probably also tired. You tried. That's all you can do. Don't take it personal. Next time you might help someone who would appreciate your kindness and say thank you. She might just be a person who doesn't know those words. Never let those bitter people change you. That is a beautiful approach to life. Don't let them change you. You know what I'm saying? If you know deep down what you're doing is right, and you do it regardless of feeling the need for other people to congratulate you on something or be negative towards you about something else, you know, you have integrity. You're doing the thing that you know is right, regardless of outcome. And I think or regardless of judgment or regardless of praise. Now, I'm not saying that you did this just for the applause. I'm definitely not saying that. I think, I think you're doing much more than a lot of people your age and my age would do. So keep that spirit, keep that optimistic spirit. Eventually, you're going to run into somebody who understands what you're trying to do, understands your intention, and likes it, and honors it. And that person is somebody you call a friend. You just made a friend. You just made somebody with similar interests. And that's what life is all about. Connecting to the people who get you, man. Sometimes people don't get you, and sometimes they do. And eventually, you knock enough croissants around, you're going to find yourself a good Frenchie. What am I even saying?